All right, hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. So let's look at a couple of things that we're setting up for tomorrow. So Microsoft today it was kind of an upgrade, but they also announced, I think, an 11% increase in their dividends and a $40 billion stock buyback program. So it had a pretty good pop here. So one of the things that we like to do during especially monthly expiration, and now that quadruple witching is upon us, is do what we call pinning trades. And so for Microsoft, and I don't know yet if this one's going to work. So for Microsoft, what I did was based on open interest levels is I made a bet that either Microsoft is going to close at 135 or at 140. Okay, and so I paid 33 cents for this one, 40 cents for this one. What that means is I have to sell one of those for 73 cents to break even, and anything above 73 cents is a profit. So you can see right now, of course, this is zero because that's going to all expire worthless. And then the calls right now are 71 cents. So I've got a very, a $15 loss on this. If tomorrow Microsoft could do me a favor and just ease back to 140, then this will turn into a very profitable trade. All right. So why do I think that that could happen, even with all this news? Well, if you look at the 140 strike, there is a ton of open interest there. And what happens during quadruple witching, and here's the open interest here and here. So that represents 68,000 plus. That's about 70 plus. That's about 110,000 options. That's like 10 million shares of stock, right? So that represents like a third of its volume. So generally, what will happen in something like that is that as these trades are taken off, it'll attract price to it. So I think there's a decent shot that even though Microsoft was up today, obviously it's an amazing company, that tomorrow it'll basically get manipulated back down to 140. So we'll see. Other trades we've been doing that on, like Facebook. So Facebook, I think, is going to be manipulated to 190 tomorrow simply because there is a high amount of open interest at that 190 strike, right? And so we just have positions here to kind of take advantage of that, and hopefully, tomorrow that continues to play out. Other trades that we've done here, like the NDX. So on the NDX, this is a kind of almost like a roulette bet, because simply it's making a bet here that, all right, we're closing at 7,900. The at the money calls are $16 and they expire in the morning. This is an AM settlement. So I sold, and I did it with 2 contracts simply because I'm going to assume that this trade's not going to work and there's nothing I can do about it. So I don't want to risk very much. But if tomorrow morning the Nasdaq, gaps down $3, okay, 3 points or more, and settles below 7,900, then I get to keep all this money. So that's how that works. If tomorrow I wake up and the Nasdaq, pre-market is up 20 points, then I lose. I'm going to lose whatever the difference is. It's just $10 wide, right? So that's how that works, and I like to do that month end or monthly expiration with those AM settled and a few things like that. So a couple things like that. And then last but not least, let's look at the Nasdaq futures and just kind of see where they are. So you can see, of course, they're kind of grinding up here, but we do not have a squeeze that's building up. We have a squeeze that's almost over. And in fact, technically it kind of died there, but it revived itself. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, average squeeze lasts 8 to 10 bars. So it looks like to me that, ultimately I think here that we have a decent shot of testing these highs, but I'm also got one eye towards the idea that we're going to come back down and take out these lows. So this is, I always like to say in these kind of markets, they can be frustrating because it's one day it looks like it's the end of the world, and then the next day everybody's going to Disneyland together. But it's also can be kind of fun, especially if you start utilizing some of these option strategies to take advantage of it. All right. Hope it helps. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you at the next update.